Welcome back to the ASUS ROG DreamLeague live here from Jönköping in DreamHack Summer, at DreamHack Summer rather. We just saw Na'Vi win against NIP, and I first of all, I mean, home crowd was of course Swedish, but they cheered for both.
They did, even at the end, they were like giving it socks for Na'Vi, so fair play to them.
I think I've never been to an event where people don't cheer for Na'Vi. It's just such a, it's a historical name in Dota 2. Yeah. There's always fans of Na'Vi at every event, even against the Swedes.
Even against the Swedes. So what was the story of the game for you, this game, Sin? I
actually have a couple of things to look at. I don't know how much time we have, but I thought it was actually, there was a couple of really interesting things for me in that game. First of all, going into the game, I said the way, for me, if Na'Vi were going to win the game, the way they would take it by storm would be, they would play an aggressive early game, they would get far ahead, and they would just destroy off it. But that was before we saw the drafts, because the way it was drafted, it was actually NIP that I felt like were on a clock and whose lanes really needed to work.
Definitely, especially when they picked Undying and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they picked Undying and they wanted to go aggressive trial, and I was like, I think Na'Vi are going to see this coming and they'll just dodge. And that's exactly what they did. And then suddenly, NIP immediately had to swap lanes. They did a 2-1-2 setup where ultimately they ended up not being able to help mid, so then he got free farm on Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend versus Puck is one of those matchups where if Shadow Fiend does well the first 2 waves, the lane is just won. Like you just go, you raise out waves, you go farm jungle, you just keep rolling and you get an advantage.
Especially when you get that early first blood from the rotation from Sonico as well.
Yeah, there was the rotation as well that helped out for sure. I don't even think he needed it though. It's just it's the icing on the cake. It makes it even better. Then you have a safe lane Axe, who I want to talk a little bit about, because they picked this Axe into, in my opinion, 4 heroes that are all good against Axe. I was really surprised. Like, I know Jonas is his best hero. I think NIP are really good at playing with it, but to me this was not an Axe game. You pick it into AA, who has chilling touch in lane, magic damage, ignores the Berserker's call, you just die to magic damage. Lishrak, magic damage, Shadow Fiend triple raise, and Shaker Fissure really ruins your initiation where you blink call and then you just, like, you zone out either his allies or you hit him and 1 ally or something. So it was a super hard game, and I felt like Jonas had a minimal impact compared to what we usually see. He had a couple kills, but...
What do you think about the Juggernaut pick after they had AA? Like they had 2 healing heroes and AA just hit them both nearly every game.
I think they kind of already cornered themselves with the draft, that they had to try to play that strategy, so I think the Juggernaut pick was all right. The problem was they didn't get the lanes they wanted. That's the only thing Na'Vi really needed to take care of in the early game. That's what they did. At that point, I think the carry could have been anyone else and they would have had just as hard of a time. To me, when they picked the Axe, they gave so much information away. Imagine he's a more flexible laning hero who actually has a matchup. Like, they didn't even pick him into... Did they even pick him into Spirit? I think Spirit Breaker was the last pick, so they didn't even pick him into a melee core. So if he was a ranged hero, more flexibility in lanes, I think it would have been a totally different game.
Yeah, but they have a lot of faith in Jonas and fans Axe. And
I understand it. He is really, really good at it.
Exactly,
It just was not a good Axe game.
Okay, well, we actually have a fight. We're loads of fights this game, but we have one fight that the chain selected for Analytics. So let's take a look at that.
Welcome to the drawing board. So this one I have is 30 minutes in. Yes, it's in my drawing board. Come on in.
Hey, we're gonna draw on this.
You're gonna draw. I'm gonna let you draw on your own, okay? All right. So
the responsibility.
Okay. So we started off with the box.
It's high. It's minimal language.
It's not that great.
All right.
Dendy's here, basically an unstoppable machine, focusing down the tombstone, which he did every single team fight. And Jonas on his Axe actually blinks in, and he did that so many times, but it wasn't enough in the team fight. You know, just when the tombstone's about to die, he disrupts it, gets a nice call, and stops them killing it. But oh man, then he gets this amazing Shadow Fiend ulti off as well.
I think this is just a part of the game where Dendy is so big, as Drasko pointed out, that even if they drop pretty much everything on him, they can't really kill him off anyway. And they do manage to bring him down eventually, but the thing you need to consider is they have two choices. Let's say they can try to isolate Dendy. If they bring him down, they have to commit everything. Then you have to deal with a Lishrak and an Echo Slam. Or you try to fight around the tombstone and maybe pick off a couple of other heroes first, which I believe they did. They got at least one who either bought back or just respawned because of Bloodstone. I'm not sure who they killed first.
Yeah.
It's still not enough. Like, at this point in time, for me, the game is almost over.
Pretty much.
And NIP need a miracle fight. They did a pretty good job there. It's just not enough.
Playing Witch Doctor against Funix Spirit Breaker can't be too much fun either. Like, every single time he ultied, he just like charged straight through him. Like,
it's a really good way of dealing with Witch Doctor in general. 2 abilities that are fairly quick at reaching. And they didn't have much lockdown for him either. Like, if he doesn't get caught in the call, they have to either commit a Yules or a Coil. to the Spirit Breaker, and they really don't want to do that.
Well, man of the match, perhaps Dendy on his Shadow Fiend. And speaking of Dendy, we actually have a chance to talk to him right here in the studio. So let's go to the winner's interview. Welcome to the studio, Dendy. Congratulations on your match.
Thank you.
So you had your personal record today in this patch in 6.84. At minute 10, 81 last hits. But 81. 81.
It's impossible.
No, apparently not.
There is not enough creeps.
You made creeps.
81 last hits at minute 10. Statsman don't lie.
I don't know how this happened.
It was magical.
Magical. Were you expecting to do as well as you did against the puck in lane?
Well, I had lucky first bot, I guess,
Yes.
because they dived me and Saneko TP'd in time and helped me, so I got first bot, and after that it was pretty much like free farming because Shadowfiend last hit power is just too big of damage, so yeah, it wasn't hard, and they couldn't gank me, they couldn't use any resources to leave their lanes. They didn't have a gank heroes also. Witch Doctor try was like the only try they actually could have done. So yeah.
All right. So in my opinion, you're one of the best teams at like just like crazy fights and like that kind of stuff. So in team fights, is it like natural kind of thing, or is there someone in your team that calls out, you know, go on this guy, do this, and you all listen to him, or is it all just crazy?
It's all just crazy. Everyone's screaming, kill him, him too. And after this guy, like, no, we can't kill him. We have no resources. Kill him. We just
Who is
run.
the one that says we can't kill this guy?
Yeah, who's the you're the guy that gives up. You're like, no, we can't do it anymore.
No, we say no, but I go anyway. Okay.
That's fair enough. Finn?
I'm not really sure what I want to ask, to be honest. Actually, now that I think about it, the one thing I brought up earlier, you expected them to run an aggressive trialing, right? So you dodged, or did you adapt immediately when you saw it?
We actually immediately adapt. At first, when we give away zombie, we wanted to fight them. We felt, okay, if we pick Undying, we're gonna fight them. If we don't pick Undying, we're gonna fight them with Undying.
And then some more.
But then suddenly, at last moment, we decided to dodge, and it was pretty nice because we needed to use a lot of resources, TPs, run through maps and stuff like this. And it was actually better for our heroes than for their heroes because we want static lane with where Undying, Witch Doctor and stuff to get their items and gold and XP and levels, everything.
So when you saw their picks, if you can't remember, we can see all 10 of them up here, I think. When you saw the picks, did you expect them to lane exactly this way? Was that what you were thinking? Because they laned an aggressive troweling with the Juggernaut instead of Axe, so Axe was supposed to go one-on-one, I suppose, against the Spirit Breaker safe lane. And I thought you guys dodged because you actually saw an opportunity to potentially win all 3 lanes, which you more or less did. Sure, Funnick didn't out-farm the Juggernaut, but he got way more experience and gold out of that lane than in most cases.
We actually expected them that they're gonna switch faster too, but they didn't switch that fast. And I'm not sure if they could, of course, but we have better heroes to switch lanes. Spirit Breaker can just charge and run through entire map pretty fast. Axe can't do that, so it was better for us to dodge them anyway. So.
When you play Shadowfiend and you have a Spirit Breaker on your team, does it give you, like, you feel more safe when you're playing, you know what I mean? Because there's so much pressure on the opponent's supports?
Yeah, I'm actually happy, you know, usually those heroes against me, but now we're in my team and I'm like, look, try to kill me now.
I got this big, scary guy.
So you're going to go up against Burning United as your next match? How confident are you? What are you going to fight? Is it going to be a fighting game? Is it going to be a likewise game as we had against
It's going to be very strategical, 4 game, some strategies and here and there. Yeah, we're going to try to do some interesting stuff.
Or just run at them and fight them.
Just go crazy and scream at each other.
Well, we can take a look at where you ended up in the brackets, actually, to see what's coming up next. I just already said it, but just you know, for form. Because not only are you going to face Burning United in our upcoming match, also after that, we're going to have Basically Unknown taking on Ninjas in Pyjamas, who of course just lost against you. And actually, how big of an impact do you think it is that the team that is going to lose in your upcoming match, so either you or Burden is gonna lose, and then you're having to wait a whole best of 3, and then you have to play again after that. Do you feel like that's maybe the biggest disadvantage of losing, rather than coming through the loser bracket?
We're actually living pretty close to this place, right? In
yeah.
Scandic, so we just go rest, and I think it's gonna be fine.
Oh, that's fine.
No
Okay.
problems.
Well, that's good to know anyways. Well, then we're going to let you go. And it is...
Don't be that excited.
That was off camera. Good thing. And we're going to let you go, and we're going to talk about our next upcoming game, Navi against Berlin United. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you, guys. I'm very happy and excited. You're so beautiful, Shiver.
Oh, thank you.
Aw.
You're handsome.
Oh, thank you, Danny.
I'm okay.
Okay.
First Syndrome.
I'm used to it.
Bro, buddy.
I've played with this guy before.
Well, it's time for our next game.
I get a hug. What now?
What
Right
now?
side of the couch.